Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Talk 1240.
News Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM News Now. Christopher Wilson and Patricia DeSalvo have been arrested in East Ridge after a search of Mr. Wilson's home, which he consented to, revealed methamphetamine and pipes for smoking it and $14,000 in cash. Ms. DeSalvo was arrested after methamphetamine was found on her person, according to the police, which violates her probation. A man wanted in connection with a first-degree murder in Polk County has been arrested in Bradley County. Daniel Stinnett, who's 49, arrested at a house on Corwin Road, and the police say they found a weapon they believe is the murder weapon. Stinnett will be transferred from Bradley County to Polk County. Police say Eric Spangler burglarized 2 homes on 2 different occasions back in 2016 and managed to pawn the items from the thefts within 90 minutes of having stolen them. A new surveillance video is how the police caught him. The police say he appears in a pawned surveillance video pawning the items stolen. Trinity Quinn went missing from Ray County on Tuesday at 7 a.m. The police say she may be with Daniel Clark, who's wanted in connection with a murder in Nashville. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on. Nooga Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Expect lots of sunshine and warmer weather out there through your afternoon. Very nice highs, lower 80s. Tonight, more clouds, lows only near 60. Could see a late shower. Scattered showers and thunderstorms likely Thursday. Very breezy, highs into the upper 60s. Much cooler into the 50s with lingering showers Friday. No matter what home improvements you're working on, start with Lowe's. For great prices on everything for your lawn, garden, or kitchen and bath improvements, all projects have a starting point. Start with your neighborhood Lowe's. And I'm Storm Sheen 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core. On Nooga Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Good morning, Chattanooga. This is Jim McCoon, and welcome to another edition of Legal Bytes. Today we're going to do something a little different. This is a show where, at least for the last 6 months since I started this program, we have been trying to provide you, the listener, with different areas of the law and information on those areas where you could use that in either your personal life or in your business life. To better understand where the issues are and try to protect yourself, comply with the law, and try to basically better yourselves. Today, we want to do something different. And the reason why are severalfold. One is today, the Chattanooga Bar Association is celebrating Law Day. And you in Chattanooga are very fortunate because we have a wonderful set of lawyers in the local bar. Several of them very talented. Several of them very much care for their clients and try to do the right thing. And today we are, and I am one of them, a member of a profession where we celebrate the rule of law. And in fact, today the theme of the Bar Day Luncheon is the 14th Amendment. So I'm very proud to be a lawyer, not only in America, but also in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we are part of a profession that celebrates and honors the rights of the individuals and the rights of businesses and the rule of law. The second reason why I wanted to do something different today is because most of you don't know it, but lawyers who took the bar exam in February have learned that whether they passed or not, and are getting sworn in. Some of them here locally and have already been sworn in. Some of them are waiting for a large event that's held in Nashville with our appellate courts where they can be sworn in, and their families are participating. And part of what I do with the bar is I am a district representative for the Board of Law Examiners. And what does that mean? That means that under our rules, to be a member of the bar, each applicant has to be individually interviewed so that by a representative of the bar to make sure that, one, there's nothing that was not disclosed in their application to be a lawyer, but also for us to assess them and make sure there's not something that was not really part of the application, but is something that you would learn or gather from meeting them and talking with them that would cause concern as to whether or not they were fit to be an attorney. And I've done this now for several years, and it's one of the highlights, as far as I'm concerned, of my practice, is getting to meet all these new young fledgling attorneys, even before they're sworn in, and talking to them about why they want to be an attorney and why they want to practice law and what interests they have in the law. And it's a very enjoyable part for me. In doing that, and I've met several, matter of fact, I tried a case the other day with a new attorney and his father, who's an attorney, which was very enjoyable. And he's a fine young man, and I know he's going to have a bright future here in town. In doing that, I started realizing that these new lawyers who have been schooled in the Socratic method and how to think as a lawyer and how to recognize issues, and have been schooled in several of the specific areas of law, like contract law, constitutional law, criminal law, civil procedure, all these areas, really don't have a whole lot of understanding on how clients are to be obtained and how clients are to be serviced when they are a lawyer. That's the business side more of law, except for the fact that because of our profession, there are ethical implications too. And thinking about that, I realized that you, the listener of this program, may not know yourselves how to find a lawyer, how to select a lawyer that was right for you, and then how to engage with that lawyer and what to anticipate in that process. And so I thought that would be a good topic for us to talk about today, especially because, for example, and I've done this 36 years, and 36 years ago when I was beginning to practice law, we didn't have major solicitation problems. We didn't have lawyer advertising. We didn't have the deluge of information about lawyers and lawyers wanting you to hire them that you, the listener, have today. In fact, when I started practicing law, it was unethical to solicit or advertise, and that was subsequently changed by a Supreme Court ruling that basically said that it infringed upon an attorney's First Amendment rights not to be able to tout their wares effectively. And since then, you're now seeing that. In fact, as I was coming into the radio station today, there's a billboard right out on the other side of Hickson Pike that says, "Get more." And it's an attorney who wants more plaintiffs to hire him for personal injury cases. And that's all he says is "get more," implying that he'll get more for you in his case than any other attorney will, which actually is just not true. But Chattanooga went through the horrific tragedy that we had with Woodmore Elementary and the bus accident back last November. And following that, there was a swarm of attorneys who hit Chattanooga from outside the city as well as outside the state soliciting. And they were not just trying to contact families. They were walking in uninvited into hospital rooms. They were sending investigators to the homes. They were having investigators appear or act as if they were members of clergy. They were doing all sorts of improper and illegal activities in an effort to garner business for their firm. In fact, I praise our district attorney, Mr. Pinkston, who has recently filed suit at least against one firm that was out of state in the solicitation activity and for their violation of Tennessee law in these activities. That's something that, I, at least in my years, I've not seen before. And I truly am proud that DA Pinkston would take such action to enforce the rights of the consumers of legal product and the rights of competing attorneys who have seen this type of unethical conduct occur. But let's talk about other schemes that have been out there that in recent years, and that's been where there have been some providers of chiropractic or medical services who have contacted individuals immediately after an automobile accident once they see the accident reports, offering free evaluation and bringing them in and assessing them and signing them up for treatment, and then referring them to an attorney who's associated with them for the purposes of bringing in action to collect monies that could pay for the medical treatment, pay the lawyer, and maybe provide something left for the injured person. That is also an illegal type of a scheme, not only because of the way it's set up, but there's another issue, and that is the fact that in Tennessee, you can't solicit legal services directly for the first 30 days following the accident or the tragedy. And the reason for that is, even though the courts have recognized that there's a First Amendment right for attorneys to advertise and solicit, on the other side, there's an individual right and an ethical issue of approaching these people when they're following the first few days of a tragedy. There may be grieving. They're in a point of trauma. And so for that reason, the law in Tennessee says that there's a window of 30 days where there's to be no contact. Now, they may choose to contact, or they may talk with friends and decide to take action. But in that first 30 days, the attorneys won't be bothering them. They won't be walking into the hospital rooms, and they won't be reaching out to them at the funeral homes and the like. So, this is something that these new lawyers that's all they've seen, is this type of advertising, solicitation, violation of rights that's been going on. And for that reason, I thought it was appropriate to at least to talk to them and to talk to you, the listener, about how things should be done and how you, the listener, as a consumer or a potential consumer of legal services, can choose a lawyer and what you should consider. And then if you determine that there's a lawyer you want to hire, what types of arrangements can be made. As I said, when I started practicing 36 years ago, clients came to an attorney based upon reputation, word of mouth, occasionally a cold call, but that's because they knew of the firm, or based upon a referral, either from an existing client or from another legal colleague. This came about, and as a result of that, attorneys were very circumspect about making sure that they treated clients well, because their name, their reputation, their character was the source of the next client. There was no billboard advertising. There was no direct solicitation. So your name and how you were known in the community was the way that you got the next case. And so it was very important to treat the existing client very well and to do everything you could for them as an attorney. That's changed with the solicitation process and with advertising. So how do you, the listener, know, with this deluge of radio, TV, billboard, internet advertising, how do you know how to hire a lawyer? Most of you do not have a direct personal relationship with an attorney where you can go to them as a trusted friend and either discuss with them a legal issue that they could handle, or know that if it's not something they could handle, they would refer you to someone that you could trust that would do the right thing and handle the matter for you, because that's their area of emphasis or specialization. In fact, studies have shown that most attorneys, hold on one second, we have a caller. Let's see if I can get that. Legal Bytes, this is Jim McCoon. Caller, do you have a comment?
Mr. McCoon, I certainly respect you and your practice, and I know what you're saying with these other lawyers, but it seems like we have a total breakdown. You know, are lawyers really schooled in morals and what the law is? And I'll tell you where I see it. And over the years, I've asked attorneys, because I've been involved with the law, with zoning and what have you, and I brought up a case where they were violating the law, the Constitution, and Supreme Court decisions. And a lawyer told me the founding fathers are dead. And then I asked him, what can't the federal government do? And he says, well, they can do whatever they want. And listen, I'm maybe not that smart, but I can read. And when I read Article 1, Section 8, it says the only things the federal government can do. So my question to you is, as a local attorney, is how do we get this genie back in the bottle? And I give you an example. When people tell me that the federal government is prosecuting crimes, and I just want your take on this, I'm going to go to Article 1, Section 6, because I see the government can only prosecute 2 crimes, because crimes are prosecuted within the state. But the federal government has imposed tyranny, and I think this is why we have this problem, even with these local lawyers. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 6, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. And one other thing, that's it. And the other thing is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 10, to define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the law of nations. I don't see any other thing in the Constitution that allows the federal government to prosecute anyone or anything as a crime. It seems to me like they're out of control. Out of control. And if they're not limited, what can't they do? And if they can do anything, let's use the Constitution as our toilet paper and let these lawyers run amok, as you're talking about. We'll do whatever we want. The Supreme, even though we don't have time to change the law, so the Supreme Court will put meetings into something that isn't there. You know, like let's say homosexual marriage. I argued with someone the other day about it at a store, and they said, "Well, the law is." I said, "There's no law guaranteeing homosexual marriage. That was a fiction created by the Supreme Court. They didn't decide on the law." So my question is, how do we get the genie back in the bottle, and how do we teach these attorneys morals? Thank you. I'll listen on the radio.
Thank you, caller. It's a little, let me get this off. It's a little off topic, and I really don't think this is a matter of teaching attorneys morals. What it's a matter of is attorneys prosecuting individual rights in the courts, if necessary, for the purposes of protecting individuals from the government. It's done every day. The Constitution, there have been a lot of changes with respect to the amendments to the Constitution since the original Constitution as well. I mean, as the caller should know, we didn't have a federal income tax for years until there were modifications made with respect to regulations and the like to be able to allow the government to collect funds to try to support the infrastructure of the government and provide for the various costs and expenses of our government. So it's not an issue of are the attorneys moral. It's an issue of whether or not the attorneys are willing to pursue a matter on your behalf, if the matter is enforceable. I don't agree with a lot of the issues that are being raised by some of the right wing that are trying to take steps with respect to some of the immigrants that have come in. I also don't agree with a lot of the left wing. But whether I agree or not, if I agree to engage with a client over issues that they have, then I'm ethically obligated, despite my personal beliefs, to pursue the issues on their behalf. And, the issues you're raising now, most members of the public will never address with an attorney. As I was saying before the call, most people in the listening audience will only use an attorney or have any contact with an attorney in the event of possibly preparation of a will, a possible probate if a family member passes and you're involved in the estate, maybe, depending upon which state you're in, an attorney involved in the purchasing of a house or real estate, because under some state laws, attorneys have to be involved in the closing and not just a title agent. A divorce, because of the number of marriages that aren't making it in this country nowadays. A lot of you will have contact with a domestic attorney and possibly a criminal attorney because of the issues that so much of our society have with the criminal system. So for those of you who will need those services, as well as for those of you who are in business and need to find an attorney to help you with your issues and the like, how do you, as a consumer of these legal services, choose which attorney to hire and under what terms to hire them? And that's a significant issue in today's society, especially based upon the fact that we're no longer choosing our attorneys based upon word of mouth referrals so much, based upon reputation, based upon knowledge of their abilities, or based upon just knowledge of the individual. So much today is now being done through the advertising and the solicitations that are occurring in society. It was interesting, just for fun, I went to the internet and did some searches to try to see if there was any guidance on how to hire an attorney. And there is an entire deluge of books out there with respect to this issue. One, How to Hire a Lawyer, The Consumer's Guide to Counsel. Second one, How to Hire a Lawyer. Another one, Divorce, How to Hire Your Lawyer. The Civilian's Guide to Lawyers, How to Hire a Lawyer. Be a Smart Client, How to Hire the Best Lawyer and Help Win Your Case. Recruiting Lawyers, How to Hire the Best Talent, where law firms are trying to pick a lawyer. Divorce, How to Hire Your Lawyer. How to Hire an Immigration Lawyer, a guide for clients. How to Hire the Right Personal Injury Lawyer, a no-nonsense step-by-step guide. Another one which was interesting was Confessions of a Bankruptcy Lawyer, or Why You Never Needed to Hire Me in the First Place. Another one was Lawsuit Success, How to Hire the Great Personal Injury Lawyer. Last one, How to Find, Interview, and Hire a Personal Injury or Wrongful Death Lawyer. 9 questions every client needs to ask and know. So this is a topic that has, and this is just one page of books. These pages go on and on with respect to the books that are out there. So this is just one area of questions and books that are being written, and that doesn't even address all the other areas that we know that you, the consumers, will need an attorney in. But here we're talking about bankruptcy, we're talking about personal injury and wrongful death, and we're talking about just divorces. And we went through 2 pages of books just on those issues. Then there were articles that were written. How to Hire the Right Lawyer was an article. And interesting, this article was put out by lawyers.com, which is a service that's out there that also lawyers can pay to be a part of. And they will get referrals, so that when you, the consumer, contact lawyers.com and say, hey, I've got a legal issue, I need a lawyer, they will then send it out to the attorneys who subscribe to their service, and they will contact you. Hold on one second, listeners. We have another call. Hello, this is Legal Bytes. Listener, you have a question?
Yes, I had a quick question. I was wondering how much the upfront fee is when you go to consult a lawyer, and will you always have to pay one up front, or does it depend on what the representation will be for?
Okay, well, that's a varying question depending upon the type of service and the law firm you go to. And again, that gets to here, you've already decided which lawyers you want to hire, and you're in there with them. In a personal injury action, if you're the plaintiff, there's not a fee with any of the personal injury attorneys I know in the area. You come in fact, you don't pay a fee until you get into a situation where the case is resolved, and that's paid as a percentage of the amount collected or received either through settlement or judgment. With respect to domestic matters, divorces and the like, That varies. There may be a initial consultation fee of a minimal amount that's reduced below the normal hourly rate. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it is only charged if you actually hire the attorney. So that once you hire, that time will be part of the bill that is rendered, and because he started the clock when he initially met with you. Then there are other attorneys who provide a free consultation. They advise you up front as you come in that there's not a charge for the initial consultation, but only if you engage. So really, it depends with respect to the type of matter you have and the law firm, because these are business decisions by the law firms themselves as to whether or not they're going to charge or not charge initially when you meet with them. So, well, we're here at the half hour. Caller, if you've got another question, if you'll hold, I'll get back to you on the other side of these announcements that we'll be receiving. And we'll be back with Legal Bytes in just a few minutes after some news and weather. Thank you.
Okay, are you off? No, I can stay on.
News Talk 1240.
Nooga Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM News Now. Christopher Wilson and Patricia DeSalvo have been arrested in East Ridge after a search of Mr. Wilson's home, which he consented to, revealed methamphetamine and pipes for smoking it and $14,000 in cash. Ms. DeSalvo was arrested after methamphetamine was found on her person, according to the police, which violates her probation. A man wanted in connection with a first-degree murder in Polk County has been arrested in Bradley County. Daniel Stinnett, who's 49, arrested at a house on Corwin Road, and the police say they found a weapon they believe is the murder weapon. Stinnett will be transferred from Bradley County to Polk County. Police say Eric Spangler burglarized 2 homes on 2 different occasions back in 2016 and managed to pawn the items from the thefts within 90 minutes of having stolen them. A new surveillance video is how the police caught him. The police say he appears in a pawn surveillance video pawning the items stolen. Trinity Quinn went missing from Ray County on Tuesday at 7 a.m. The police say she may be with Daniel Clark, who's wanted in connection with a murder in Nashville. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on. Nooga Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Expect lots of sunshine and warmer weather out there through your afternoon. Very nice highs, lower 80s. Tonight, more clouds, lows only near 60. Could see a late shower. Scattered showers and thunderstorms likely Thursday. Very breezy, highs into the upper 60s. Much cooler into the 50s with lingering showers Friday. No matter what home improvements you're working on, start with Lowe's. For great prices on everything for your lawn, garden, or kitchen and bath improvements, all projects have a starting point. Start with your neighborhood Lowe's. And I'm Sheen 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ward. On Nooga Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
McCune Williams and Ashley PLLC offers a full array of legal services to meet the needs of businesses and individuals. Our attorneys represent diverse backgrounds, interests, and legal emphasis, but we share one common goal: providing the highest quality legal services to our clients through the combination of our talents, experience, and expertise. In each case, we strive to tailor those services to meet each client's specific circumstances. Business law, business organization, civil litigation, commercial litigation, conservatorship and guardian law, bankruptcy law, just to name a few. With over 188 years of combined experience, McCune Williams Ashley PLLC is here to help you and your business succeed. MWALawfirm.com. That's MWALawfirm.com. Call 423-756-6400. That's 423-756-6400.
Chattanooga's best kept secret, Boyd Speedway. Come see the fastest dirt late model drivers in the South compete for a purse every Saturday night. Pit gates open at 3, grandstand opens at 5. Racing starts at 7. Bring the whole family for a night of fun as they tear it up on the dirt track. Go to BoydSpeedway.net and check out the Dirt Simulator. BoydSpeedway.DirtSimulator.com. Chattanooga's best kept secret, Boyd Speedway. Fun-filled, outrageous racing. We'll see you Saturday night.
The Nesmith Street Stock Event. Limited late models, crate late models, sportsman, hobby, and street stocks.
Boyd Speedway. News Talk 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Welcome back, Chattanooga. This is Jim McCoon with Legal Bytes. And in the first half of the hour, we were discussing in honor of Law Day that the Chattanooga Bar Association is celebrating with a luncheon today. We were discussing how you, the consuming public, can choose a lawyer, especially with all of the deluge of solicitation and information that's provided to you in today's market, both by billboards, as you see throughout the Chattanooga area, by the internet, by radio, by television. How do you know who you should hire and what of lawyer you should need and the like? And so we were discussing that, and just before the break, we had a call in asking about whether or not initial consultations were free once you decided on a law firm that you wanted to either interview or hire. And again, the answer to that really varies because each firm has its own policies and procedures, but generally speaking, with respect to personal injury matters, because those are handled primarily on a contingent fee basis, there is no initial fee. And so you sit down with them, and after the lawyer hears the claim and how you were injured or how your family member was injured, if he feels like the case is not worth pursuing, he'll advise you and he'll decline the representation. Or if you decide that, or if he decides the case is worth pursuing and you want to engage with him, you'll do it where no fee will be paid until there is an actual recovery, either through settlement or judgment. And that's how those matters generally work out. On other matters, whether it's a business consultation, whether it's a family matter, a domestic matter, the like, it just depends upon the firm that you go to. Each of them have a different policy, but generally speaking, prior to engagement, most of the firms will provide some type of initial consultation, whether it be by phone or in person, to discuss the matter at no charge. And then talking back about how you choose the lawyer you want to sit down with and talk to, as I said, in my 6 years of practice or so, it has completely changed. When I started practicing, most of my work came in either through the reputation of the firm I was with and our name, and we would get contact, or through referrals from a colleague in the bar who knew I handled a certain type of matter and felt comfortable in having his client or his friend referred to me to handle the matter, or from just general reputation in the community, or from friends and other clients making the referral. That's changed now. We get contacts from people directly requesting help on our website. We get referrals from, again, from the traditional sources I've mentioned. We get contacted through some of these services who are trying to get us to buy their solicitation services, or their, such as what I just told you, lawyers.com. They're trying to get us to subscribe. And so they'll send people to us and then contact us later and say, well, you saw what we've sent you. Don't you want to come on and pay $199 a month or whatever the charge is to be part of our group? So, I mean, work comes now from all sorts of non-traditional services and sources. And so, but for you, the consumer, when you come in and are trying to decide, I guess one of the main things that I felt really good about in looking at several articles that I pulled from the internet was, for example, there's this one that I found that was published by Legal Match. I'll give them credit. They went through a series of 20 questions, and the one that I liked was, in hiring the lawyer, the very first topic they had was, do not hire the lawyer who actively solicited you. Solicitation, if it was done in the first 30 days, is certainly unethical and illegal in Tennessee. Secondly, If they are pursuing you hot and heavy, there's usually a question or a problem. Successful, competent attorneys don't have to chase you. So from that standpoint, this article was really strong about don't hire the guy who is actively coming after you. Another article said, do not hire the lawyer who immediately suggests that you do something illegal or unethical. Now, I've already told you, I don't think you'll see that in the Chattanooga bar, but I can't know what's happening in every office. But I urge you to follow that advice. If you've got an attorney who's suggesting that you get rid of some evidence, that you change your story, that you alter the facts in any way, find another lawyer. But anyway, so there are guys out there. I still strongly believe that the best means or manner for hiring a lawyer is to go on word of mouth and reputation, because you're in the community, and certainly you'll know people that will know something about the attorneys in the town and will know something about their abilities. Frankly, attorneys as a general group are bright individuals from the standpoint of, everyone out there went to law school and worked hard. The real issue that I think you have to look at, and one of the demarcations, is their work ethic. If they're willing to work hard with respect to the practice, I think that's what's going to set them apart and will provide you with good representation. And so try to find out information with respect to their practice and just how hard they're working in their practice and what their true work ethic is. That's, to me, is a line of demarcation between the great lawyers and the good lawyers, and the not so good lawyers is really how much they're willing to work a file and spend the time taking care of the client's business. Chosen a lawyer, or you think you've chosen a lawyer. The next step is, how do you determine the terms of engagement? And there's really several different forms of engagements or contracts you can have with a lawyer or a law firm that you're hiring. One that is very simple and very straightforward is a flat fee agreement. A flat fee agreement is basically where you hire an attorney to undertake a matter for you and pay a specified amount. Now, you may pay that amount up front. You may pay part up front and part when the product's delivered, or you may pay it all upon delivery of the product. If it's a criminal matter, criminal matters are generally handled on a flat fee stated amount, and that money's paid generally upon engagement, or at least part of it has to be paid then, and the balance will be paid usually before the first court appearance. So that's the type of engagement you could expect. A second form of engagement is hourly. And generally, hourly is where you're paying for either the attorney or the paralegal's hourly rate based upon the amount of time spent in handling and performing the services on your matter. Now, with respect to a commercial matter or a transactional matter, that can be fairly well defined. The attorney can give you a fairly sure estimate on how much time it's going to take to prepare a contract, to prepare a lease, to draft maybe an employee handbook, to address issues that you've got in your business. And so you can get a fairly good estimate on what that'll cost if you're going to do that on an hourly basis, to help you understand and how much to expect in satisfaction when the services are finished. A lot of times people say they would prefer to do a flat fee rather than an hourly basis, because they feel like they're giving the law firm basically a blank check when they're on an hourly situation. I understand the consumer's belief in that, but you also have to understand that if you handle something on a flat fee basis, that lawyer, who is also a businessman, knows how much he's getting paid and will affect, to some extent, how much he's willing to do to get the services rendered. And so I strongly suggest that, depending upon the nature of what you're having handled, is that you consider strongly whether or not you want to go hourly or flat fee based upon what your needs and expectations are. And of course, review your bills. If you're on an hourly situation and you receive your statements periodically, usually monthly, review them to see what the attorney and the firm is handling and doing on your behalf, especially if it's litigation, courtroom work. Your attorney does not have control over what his adversary or the court may require him to do. So the fact that he may be able to do a finite amount of things to adequately get his case ready for you, that does not mean that he can avoid what his adversary may be doing and responding to that. His adversary may send him a discovery request. His adversary may want to take several depositions. His adversary may be filing numerous motions requiring court hearings with respect to the resolution of those motions. And as a result of that, he has lost control over how much he has to bill you to adequately protect your interests against the person you're engaged in litigation with. On top of that, the courts, depending upon which court you're in, has mandatory disclosures. They have mandatory matters that have to be filed, especially in federal court, that will require your attorney to undertake these tasks and do them. If the case gets continued, or if the court orders additional hearings or matters to be addressed, your attorney has to do that. So I understand that most of you have not worked with attorneys on a regular basis, but especially in court work, your attorney is doing all he can to represent you, but he can't do it in a vacuum. He's got a judge and he's got an adversary that are, to a large extent, affecting the time required to address your issues. And so for that reason, what you may want to look in reviewing the bills is how much time is being spent on each matter. And especially, are there matters that could be addressed more appropriately either by an associate with a lower billing rate, or are there matters that a paralegal could address? And if they're not happening on the bill you see, talk to him. Communication is key in the attorney-client relationship. So talk to your attorney. Let him know issues or concerns you have, and see if there's any way that they can be addressed that will not adversely affect your representation, but may benefit you financially. Understand these issues and address them all the time with clients. So be a savvy consumer and talk to your attorney about the concerns and issues you're seeing as the case is progressing. Don't wait till the end and then, have issues with the attorney over the total aggregate bill, as opposed to addressing it as billing statements are received. Another way of engaging with an attorney, and as we discussed, this happens a great deal on personal injury matters, is to have a contingent fee. And contingent fee arrangements can also exist a lot of times in collection suits and collection activity as well. In those situations, what you would do is you would have an engagement that would provide that the attorney's only paid if he's successful, and he's paid a percentage based upon the amount recovered. The standard is usually a third, although depending upon the type of case and the difficulties of the case, it may go up to 35, 40%. In commercial litigation, where you're dealing with business issues, I have seen, and I know that it's common in some other cities, it could be 50%, especially where there's no insurance or opportunity for easy collection if the case is successful. So if someone's willing to take a business matter on a contingent fee for the purposes of litigating these business issues, oftentimes you'll see a higher contingent fee because the attorney or the firm is at higher risk of being able to collect what they do for you. There will still be expenses, especially in personal injury matters. Those expenses often will be advanced. The attorney representing you, you'll still have the obligation for those expenses, but there will be something that, as for example, as a doctor's deposition is taken and a doctor charges for his time to give the deposition, the attorney will advance that cost on your behalf. But when the case resolves, that expense will be paid back to the attorney at the amount recovered. Now, while those are the three, the flat fee, the hourly, and the contingent, are the three standard forms of engagements that you can expect as a consumer, there's a lot of imagination sometimes that's used to try to address more difficult cases, or cases where the manner for the client to pay is strained. And a lot of times I'll call these the modified arrangements. If the client, especially in business litigation, may not be able to pay the full hourly rate of their attorney, but the attorney, one, wants to render the service to the client out of loyalty or relationship, and two, believes that the case has a probability of success, but it's going to be expensive to get there and difficult, the attorney may offer to you what is as a modified arrangement to handle it on a reduced hourly rate. So as opposed to maybe charging $300, let's just pick a number, $300 as an hourly rate, which is his standard rate, he may agree to do it at $175. But he also is going to have a contingency kicker or a success fee on any amount collected. So you will pay that reduced hourly rate while you're going through the case with your attorney. But upon resolution, especially a successful resolution, then the attorney would be entitled to not only the reduced hourly fees that you've been paying all along, but he would be entitled to some type of a success fee for having done it at a reduced rate and gotten you a good result. And that would all be spelled out in the engagement agreement between you and the lawyer. The other modification that I'm familiar with and have seen is where maybe there is a contingent fee arrangement contemplated, but the attorney has some serious concerns about some of the facts of the case. And before the attorney is willing to totally commit to filing the claim on your behalf, he would want some type of litigation fee, which is what it would be called. And maybe it's a modest amount, $2,500, $5,000, something like that in a personal injury matter, to cover some of his expenses in just purely investigating, because he's dubious as to the claim, doesn't believe that maybe it has all the earmarkings of success that he would want and the like. And so you could expect that modification. All of these are open for negotiations between you and your lawyer. Please participate in these negotiations and try to get what is best for you and best for the firm, so that you can both move together successfully in whatever legal services you need. And as I said, because it's going to be in an engagement letter, or should be an engagement, and I urge you, make sure you get it in writing. Also review and read everything you're provided with respect to the terms, so that there's no misunderstanding. Legal services and lawyers are trying to do the best they can in this community, and I truly believe that. I feel very good about our bar and the people available for you, the public. But, despite how well they may try to document exactly what they're saying and trying to work out with you. If you don't read it, there's always going to be the opportunity for you to not be happy or to be confused by the end result. So please do that. And again, as I've said, communicate with your attorney. Talk to them about your issues, and please continue to work with him and assist him in taking care of matters for you. It is your case, and he can only do as well as you allow him to do. Again, this is Jim McCoon, celebration of Law Day here at the Talk Radio Station. This is Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. That's another end of our segment, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday with the Legal Bytes. Thank you for tuning in.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Your marriage is over. You've been abandoned, betrayed. You're angry, shattered, and heartbroken. Don't go it alone. When you are facing divorce, you need an experienced advocate to help protect your rights in future. And you need it from a man with a sympathetic heart, but a hard nose. Attorney Clay Whitaker will fight for you in this most confusing and bitter time in your life. Clay Whitaker, 756-6400.
Window Depot of Chattanooga. They're locally owned and operated and been around since 2008, installing top quality vinyl replacement windows. You get the best price and service in the area. Top quality double pane, energy efficient windows. They look great and save you money.
Oh, I love to save money.
You'll also save money on your heating and cooling costs. Call 894-0011. 894-0011. WindowDepotChattanooga.com. WindowDepotChattanooga.com. Sales and installation professionals. You'll get a fantastic job while helping to enhance the value, appearance, comfort, and efficiency of your most valuable asset, your home. Other window providers? No way. Window Depot of Chattanooga's windows qualify for the TVA rebate. Sliding doors, gutters, soffits, fascia, garage doors, and other home improvements. If you want to save a ton, call 894-0011. WindowDepotChattanooga.com. WindowDepotChattanooga.com. Window Depot of Chattanooga. Sales and installation professionals.
McCoon, Williams & Ashley PLLC offers a full array of legal services to meet the needs of businesses and individuals. Our attorneys represent diverse backgrounds, interests, and legal emphasis, but we share one common goal: providing the highest quality legal services to our clients through the combination of our talents, experience, and expertise. In each case, we strive to tailor those services to meet each client's specific circumstances. Business law, business organization, civil litigation, commercial litigation, conservatorship and guardian law, bankruptcy law, just to name a few. With over 188 years of combined experience, McCoon, Williams, Ashley PLLC is here to help you and your business succeed. MWALawfirm.com. That's MWALawfirm.com. Call 423-756-6400. That's 423-756-6400.
Picture that curl of steam rising from your fresh-made pizza. And in a flash, let it take you aloft, teasing all your senses. I'm talking about Jet's Pizza. If you eat out at Jet's in Hickson or take home your steaming deep dish square pizza, you'll love Jet's. They use only the best ingredients in a family recipe. Also try the cheesy bread, wings, chicken, or bread with bacon, antipasta, or Greek salad. Jet's Pizza at Buy Low near the S-Curves. Open till 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday. You can order online or have it delivered. JetsPizza.com. That's JetsPizza.com. Or call them now. They'll have it ready when you get there. 757-1616. That's 757-1616.
Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
Charge! Get back there, you dang Yankee! Great horny toads, I'm up north. Gotta burn my boots. They touched Yankee soil. Lay down your arms and step forward, Yankee!
What's the hassle, schmassel?
My orders from General Lee is to hold the Macy-Dixie line, and no Yankees are crossing it.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. News Talk 1240.
Nooga Radio AM 1240 and 92.7 FM News Now. Trinity Quinn, the 15-year-old subject of an Amber Alert, has been found in Nashville, and Daniel Clark, the man she was believed to be with, was found with her. Clark was wanted by police as a suspect in the killing of an Exxon gas station clerk. They were both found just hours after Clark was put on the TBI's top 10 most wanted list. Two men were gunned down earlier this morning on
WBLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga, WSDT Sunny Daisy Chattanooga. Yesterday on the Herd.
Okay. Saban's going to make $8 million a year. Any Alabama coach, any Michigan coach, they'd all make a base of $4 million. If I told you as a college sports fan that you had to pay $4 million a year for a device that guaranteed national titles, would you pay it? Hell yeah, you would.
A new day in the Herd.
Starts now. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is the Herd.
The Herd.
With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
This show on radio.
This is the Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
This is the Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio.